There have been times in my life where I've manifested exactly what I wanted and I've taken it for granted, or I've looked at it and I've found problems with it, or I haven't maintained it and I've just expected it to be like magic, like everything is done for me and I just get exactly what I want and I don't contribute anything into this creation. I've learned that lesson over and over again. I'm not going to keep sending things away because they're not ready to go as soon as I open the box. I think this is an important lesson because things come to us in ways that we don't expect, and if we have the expectation and something shows up, then we might discard it immediately, or we might discard it after examining it a little bit and like deciding this isn't quite what I wanted. But maybe this thing that's come is what you want, but there's some things that need to change inside of you first so that it's compatible. And in the past, I've had experiences where, particularly in relationships, I've had everything that I wanted right in front of me more than once, and I haven't been willing to go through the growth that was required of me to become the person that I needed to be to receive what was in front of me. If I said, do you want $1 million? Like, I'll give you $1 million. I'm dead serious. I'm going to give you $1 million. And you'd probably say yes, because you could use that to create all kinds of things for yourself. And then what if I said, okay, you have to find a way to get to the other side of the world. And there's a guy there. He's my accountant, and he's going to give you the $1 million when you arrive. Do you still want the $1 million? Some of you might say yes, some of you might say that's ridiculous. I've never traveled before, that's out of my comfort zone, I can't do it. And that would be the end of it. The $1 million is still manifested, still totally available, but you aren't willing to go through the journey to the $1 million. So, you know, people show up in my life that are quite challenging in terms of like building relationship. And in the past, I've said, yeah, this is exactly what I want, but I don't want to go through these challenges. So the manifestation is right there, like this relationship that's amazing, this beautiful person, and, and like this depth of connection and this intimacy and this love is available. And I say no, because I don't want to do the hard work. So I've learned, and I want to make sure that I balance this, what I'm saying right now. I've learned that it's worth working for these creations. But at the same time, I've also learned, and this is much more subtle, that sometimes things show up and they're actually not quite what you were looking for. You know, maybe even using the example of the $1 million, like maybe that is ridiculous. Like, go to the other side of the world and find Kai's accountant. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll wait for another opportunity. That's valid too. Like, I think it's very valid to say, no, that is actually not quite what I wanted. Like, examine this thing that's showing up, this possibility that's showing up, examine it from all angles, make a a definitive decision, like, yes, this is what I wanted. I'm willing to, like, put the work in to make this exactly what I imagined it to be, or no, this isn't what I wanted, and that's the end of it. Like, just let it go. I think it's important to make that distinction in that moment in time, because another thing, another sub lesson of these lessons, this cycle of letting things go that are amazing because I don't want to go through the process of change to receive them. I think that is the key that we need to focus on here. Going through the process of change that's required to receive what's coming to you. But the sub lesson is that something comes, it's exactly what you wanted to attract into your life. It's right here, right now. And but it's not quite what you wanted. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, it's not quite what I want, and I would like to wait for something better. In that moment in time, like if I choose to keep this thing that I'm not sure that I really want, then that's now interfering with the process, because there's this thing in the place of the where I want something to happen. You know, I have a relationship that isn't quite what I wanted, and it's blocking my ability to attract the thing that I really want. So that's why I think it's important to make a definitive decision. Is this my manifestation or is it not? You can take your time with it. You don't have to do it instantly. Like I said, examine this thing from all directions. Take it all in. Is this what I really wanted? Is it not? Make a decision. And that's a sub lesson, like, because often I have thought, I don't want to go through the process of change to become who I need to be to receive all of what's available, but I can kind of just coast along with what's showed up. Like, this is pretty cool. I'll just accept it for what it is. And, you know, that can be nice, I suppose. Depends, like, how fully you want to live. Because if we're accepting, I think we all know when we're accepting a life or accepting a manifestation that isn't our greatest possibility. And there's a sense that it's like draining, because you know there's so much more possibility, and you're staying in this reality that isn't everything that you know is possible for you. And I feel like we should also balance that with just being grateful and content wherever we are in the journey. But if we're going to be serious without, like, enjoy life, it's not a big serious thing. But if we're serious about creating, and we're serious about, you know, if you're grateful to be here as a human being, and you are truly thankful for the ability to create anything that you can imagine, like, use it. Like, why settle for a mediocre life? Why settle for, like, why take the easy road ever? Like, you know that the greater the risk, the greater the reward. You know that the more pain, the more pleasure. Like, you know that there's these extremes to life, and you can kind of just coast along down the safe road that everybody else is attracted to. Like, we're all attracted to it because it's safe and it's easy and there's no challenge. And when there's no challenge, there's no growth, but there's also, you can kind of relax. But you should also know, after your first like 20, 30 years of life by now, that like the more that you choose the easy way, the harder life actually gets. And the more that you are complacent, the harder it is to enjoy life. Like, you can eat junk food and play video games and masturbate and watch porn, or like all these addictions that people have, smoke drugs, like, and it gradually makes your life worse. It feels good in the moment, but it gradually makes your life worse. Or you can choose differently and do things that are good for you. Work out, read books, travel, get into relationships that are challenging, go for the career that's where like you're going for promotions and you're trying to, you're just trying to experience more different things instead of just staying in familiarity in this tiny little comfort zone. Like, the more that you're expanding your comfort zone, the more becomes available to you, and the more that like pieces you have to create with. Or you can like just like shrink that comfort zone more and more. That's what happens when you have addictions. Like, the comfort zone shrinks because it's like we all have a friend, or we've met somebody who they can't do anything without like their morning coffee and then their morning bong, and then like they just have like whatever, like all these like things that stack on top of each other, and they can't function without it. Like, all of these addictions have to happen for the most basic day. Like, even just to get out of bed, for some people it gets to that extreme. Or even they might not even make it out of bed, they just do a bunch of drugs and go back to sleep. Like, that can be the how much it shrinks your reality and how much it shrinks your comfort zone. But if you're open to experience and you're open to exploring, and you're not living in fear of like what you're going to have to go through to receive what you're asking for, and you meet it wholeheartedly, fearlessly, and you're like, yeah, this is what I want. I'm prepared to go through this journey to receive it, to become who I need to be to receive it. That's my goal right now. Like, I'm staring my greatest dream in the face. I looked into the eyes of my greatest dream, and I knew it was available, and then it disappeared. Or it felt like it disappeared. It felt like it was no longer available. Like, I missed my opportunity. But I didn't miss my opportunity. I did everything right. My dream arrived, and I did everything right. The only thing like, I guess what's coming through is like surely there must be something I've done wrong for it to like feel like it's leaving me, like the possibility is leaving me. But this is just the next opportunity for me to prove to myself that I want what I want. Like, I've manifested this possibility. It's available, and I'm going to go through the changes and the challenges and the growth that's required for me to become who I need to be to receive it. And it's particularly hard because of that sense that it was right here, and then it felt like it was just gone. Like, but even when I received the news that it was like leaving, I kind of read it and I thought, no, it's not really leaving. Like, even though if you read the words objectively, if anybody else read it, they would go, it's over, bro. But I read it and I just felt like it's not over. Like, this possibility is available. It's just going to require me to be extremely patient and extremely committed. And I think the greatest things that can ever happen in life, the greatest things that you ever want to attract into your life or create for yourself, are going to be like that. Like, it's going to feel like just immense, overwhelming, like this possibility. Is like, it's just going to take everything that you've got inside of you to move through the evolution that's required to receive it. And because I've seen it enough times and I understand this now, I make these really firm and strong commitments to myself. Like, I'm having this. Like, if not in this form, if this possibility truly disappears, I will attract it again. I'll create it again, and I will experience this. This will be my reality. That feels really good to say. If you get anything out of these video journals, please let me know in the comments below. Share your thoughts and feelings, whatever's emerging in the present moment. Click the like button for me. It actually goes a long way. Subscribe if you haven't already. And you could also go check out kylivs.com. It's still there. It's a good way to see the bigger picture.